What is up, YouTube? That's here, and today I'm back doing more Patreon VGC team fixing. Today we're taking a look at a super cool team that uses Choice Scarf Kyurem-W. Pretty cool tech. I think Kyurem-W is definitely an underrated restricted pick in today's meta, and I think it goes great with Alolan Ninetales. Got a little bit of Torn Ursh as well. Really still like seeing the Water Ursh on this team to make for a good defensive pivot from like steel attacks and stuff like that. I think also like Incineroar are like great mons that like complement this core. You can play the long game, you can play it like hard, you can play it fast. There's so many things that this team's actually doing right, and I will say before we get into this team fixing, if there's a team that you want help with, please think about checking out my Patreon. There's a link to it in the description of this video. We have the official team submission post up here on Patreon. This team was actually sent to me in a DM, so I'm going to be replying back to their DM. But yeah, if there's a team you want some fixings with and you want me to take a look at and do my absolute best to help with and shine it up to be the best possible team that it can be, please think about checking out my Patreon. There's a link to it in the description, and if you guys have any questions about that, please think about letting me know in the comments. That being said, I think this team actually is doing a lot of stuff right. I think the Kyurem EV spread might need just a little bit of fine-tuning, but you can see they're proactively putting points into bulk and hitting the exact numbers they need to get to on like the special attack. I think they might be using just a little bit too much speed. They're either using too much speed or not enough speed. We're going to find out in just a sec. They did say they were a little bit new to building their EV spread, so we're going to be running a bunch of calcs to try and find out how to optimize these just a little bit further. I think this Torn set is a good idea. You know, they have the Dark typing to be able to make it so they can go Dark Terror to stop like a Prankster Encore from a Whimsicott or a Prankster Taunt from something, while having the Clover Cloak to be able to avoid Fake Out. So I think they're doing a lot of things right here. I think you need just a little bit more defense. You might actually have to put your defensive nature into this to be able to live through like Surging Strikes from other Urshes, but I think you're doing a lot of things right. I also really like the Sludge Bomb tech to be able to check other Whimsicots, so I think they're doing a lot of things right. Ursh obviously can be 252 since it's Sash. I still think you should probably be Jolly so you can actually outspeed Flutter Mains, so when you lead up against Terapagos teams, which would normally be a bad match for this team, you can go for those big close combats before getting Icy Wind and getting your Sash broken. So that's something that I would like to see. And then the Incineroar can be probably a little bit optimized. I'm usually a big fan, but if you have two like obvious big attacks here, being the knockup and then Flare Blitz, you need a little bit of points in attack to be able to optimize those. So anywhere between like 60 and 100 points with an Adamant Nature would probably be good. Might be able to put a little bit of speed in there. I think you did a really good job with this Ninetales as well. You could probably put some of these points right into HP as well, since it's actually Ninetales' lowest defensive base stat. But we'll be able to get to that when we run some calcs. And last but not least, the Rilla. I think you got a lot of your terrors right, you got a lot of your moves right, and your items right, but sets can be just slightly optimized. That being said, I think this is actually a really, really cool team, and I'm excited to play some games with it. So what we're going to do here is play a few games with it on the ranked ladder, see if we can get a good understanding of what this team's strengths are, what its weaknesses are, and then from there, go into a little fixing where we polish everything up and make it as bright as possible, make it the best possible team that it could be. So if that's something that interests you, sit back, max, relax, act all cool. And other than that, let's hop right into these games. Wish me luck. Here we go. All right, here we go. We're going up against Ice Rider with like Gardevoir Garchomp. Wow, that's kind of weird. And Drag Allergy. So this looks like big TR. Note that they don't have redirection, so that's actually really good. They also don't really have that big of a way to stop us from just fake outing the Ice Rider. So I think leading in Sin could probably be really good here. They can't have Curry Amulet on everything. Worst case scenario, they lead like Ursh and they take out our Sin, but at the same time, we're probably gonna have a pretty good matchup with the Ice Rider at that point. I think I can actually also just lead like Ninetales. I think Ninetales Kyurem's really good, and just putting up the Aurora Veil. Remember, we get the defense boost on our Kyurem because we're ice typing. So like if you go for like a Glacial Lance, like I don't really care. Like it's not gonna do that much. Maybe we can even like pivot in Incineroar or something. Incineroar's like a decent looking play here. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ursh have a lot of value here. I think Torn can also be usable. I think I will bring the Torn in case that's not Trick Room. And I'm not really thinking, like, Torn has Protect, I think, right? It does. So yeah, so we can just have Torn be like a decent Mon. And then I guess we need like one Mon to be able to peel off some of those more aggressive Mons on their side. I'm looking at Ursh being sashed. It's just not that great in a Garchomp. I think I'm going to bring the Ursh. I'm not a big fan of Rilla and Incin on this team. I know you have to have them. Like, obviously, you need the Rillaboom to deal with the Miraidon matchup, and Incineroar is just really, really solid at, like, stopping people from, like, cheesing you. But this is one of those situations where I don't think we need to defensively outplay them as much as like, hey man, I got an Ursh, and like your Gardevoir does not want to eat Surging Strikes. I don't need to like let the Gardevoir do something to the Incin. I want to get Focus Blasted. I don't want to get like, I don't even know what they're doing here. Like, you're going to get Trick 'em Up, but I don't think it's going to get them the desired result. So yeah, I think I'm just going to Blizzard. I could Fusion Flare the Cali. I wonder if that's Policy Cali. That'd be kind of cool. Get it? Cool. Yeah, we're gonna Aurora Veil here. I wish we had like Encore here. That'd be kind of nice. I'll Fusion Flare the Cali. Hopefully it's not Policy. And you could say like, oh, you could go for so many different things. You could pivot in the Incin, mitigate the damage. Like, I think we're gonna be just fine. Hopefully it's not Policy though. Nice. Yeah, it doesn't look like Policy. There's nowhere to like proc it on that team. I wonder if they're like Trick Rooming Trick Room, thinking I'm gonna stop one. Like, I'm not. Yeah, D-Gleam's like totally fine. Absolutely okay here. And remember, we're using Choice Scarf Kyurem here, so we're stuck using this move, but I don't really see it being a problem. I can go for a D-Gleam here. I can go for a Protect. I think I'm just gonna... Let me actually look at something. I think the pace might be a little bit off. Yeah, the pace actually says the Ninetales has Moonblast, not Dazzling Gleam. I was actually planning on having Moonblast. That being said, I think I can just click Dazzling Gleam and just Fusion Flare. I think you have to go Fire Tear to stop this. Protect's absolutely fine. Like, I don't really care what they're doing. Are they gonna Encore? Are they going to Life Deal? Oh, that's cool tech. Yeah, that's cool. Life Deal is a good move. So they're gonna take a little bit of damage on this Gardevoir. And they should know that we're Scarf Kyurem, but like, again, I don't really think we take that much damage from all of this. I really don't. And we're gonna be forcing a Terra on their side. They're the ones waiting out their Trick Room. You know, so I think this is fine with me. Fusion Flare is going to whip. Yep. And we still have that Fire Terra if we need it. We could realistically go Fire Terra here. I'm going to go Fire Terra because I want the damage. They probably think they can Life Dew and eat it, but like this is going to do a lot more damage off the Fire Terra double dip. So I quite like this. I think this is actually really cool. I don't think they're going to make a read and go high horsepower. And even if they do, I think it's not going to do that much. So let's see if they Life Dew or go for a Dazzle. Remember, we still have that fat Aurora Veil up, so we're in a great spot right here. Let's see if they go Terra. Actually, they would have Terra'd right there, yeah. So like, Glacial Lance is fine. That's not doing anything unless they crit. That didn't do anything, bro. Kyurem is so good. Yeah, Dazzling him, not doing anything against this Kyurem, right? And so they're going to go for like a high horsepower, probably, or something of the like. We should be able to get the KO in there, Cali, right here. We're just going to pivot into Torn. And see, that's where the Torn actually comes in play here. When you have that, when you're showing that you have the ground weakness, and you can pivot in the Torn, like, that's the value that, like, that Torn brings to the matchup, even against Trick Room teams. Whereas in Sin, you know, the mon that we could have brought instead, it doesn't really do it. You know, I feel like Incineroar is sometimes giving your opponents a little bit too much credit in open sheet. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of things it's good against, but if, like, they have a really obvious clear amulet on their restricted, bringing the Incineroar and trying to weave in the Protects, you know, fake outs and stuff like that, there's so many different things that could happen that are probably not going to happen that like you don't really need Incineroar for. So let's see what we want to do here. That's obviously going to be Telepathy Guard. Bunch turns left on the Aurora Veil, 2 turns left on the TR. So we're just going to go for an Icy Wind, which is actually I can go for it. I want the Dazzle. I'm going to Icy One on the last turn of the Trick Room and pivot on our Torn. And then we're going to be getting ready to close out with Ursh. Bring our Kyurem back out and just go for like a Freeze Dry or a Blizzard. Note that they have not Terra'd yet, so this is fine. Icy One would not kill the Garchomp here either. Cool, I'm happy to see a Terra. Is it Ground Terra? Are you Ground and Pound, Garchomp? Steel. Okay. So Fusion Flare is gonna like absolutely melt this guy. Nice. Love that for us. I want to see if they're Scarfed. We're gonna know if they're Scarfed if they are slower or technically faster than my Ninetales here. Awesome. So they can just Earthquake. Torn does not care. Helping Hand, Life Dew, Dazzling Gleam Guard. Ninetales should live. Look at this. Oh, wow. You Orbed? You Banded? Because we have like a defense boost and an Aurora Veil. You're Orbed. Okay, that was like there had to be a multiplier there somewhere. Okay, so we can just come in with Ursh. Double Protect into Close Combat Garchomp Tailwind. Like, we win the game. Sounds good to me. Maximize Detects. Yeah, like I said, we don't even know. I don't even know if we need to Tailwind. It's just that like full speed Gardevoir would outspeed Ursh in some situations. I don't think so. Actually, it's only an 80. Let's see what they got here though. This is the last turn of Trick Room. We still have the Kyurem in the back. So Double Protect is good. I don't want to eat like a D-Gleam plus something where like, I don't know how slow their Garchomp is. There's no reason for me to try to attack here. You're like, oh, but Garchomp would outspeed Ursh. It's like, we don't really know though, you know. They're making the right play going for this because they know one of these guys is sashed. They just don't know which one. They're probably assuming it's the Ursh. I would be surprised to see Earthquake. Outrage. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Not like this, buddy. Wow. That is, I mean, I'm a big Outrage believer, but like, I don't think that's the right play. Dimensions of turn normal. We just Tailwind, hit the Garchomp. If you happen to have Dragalge back there, are we really that behind? It's probably your Ursh. And if you Trigger me, like, I don't know. I think that we can just do this. I mean, I could probably just get away with this, though. I think I outspeed the guard. I'm gonna go, I'll do this play. I think this is fine. Are you gonna Trigger me? Dazzling Gleam, Life Dew, Helping Hand. What's the last move? You know what? It's fine. We'll just be normal. Like this play. If you Trigger me, right? Helping Hand, Life Dew, Dazzling Gleam. If it's Trick Room, it's Trick Room. You know what I mean? We're going to take a tick from the Rough Skin. It's going to break our Sash. We crit that one now. Yeah, let's see what happens here. This could go south. This could definitely go south. Because you're going to kill my Ursh this turn. That's a problem. And, like, we have the Sludge Bomb to be able to pin it after if you go for the Dazzling Gleam, which is why I was thinking that. And so, like, if you ever want to click D-Gleam, like, Torn is still fine. Dazzling Gleam's great. Cool. I'm happy to see that. That was the play. Oh, we actually live. Wow, they're really... They're not that aggressive. What is this Mon? Ursh. Awesome. So your Ursh is going to be a problem, but I think we have the win. So we're going to go Aqua Jet into your guard and just Sludge Bomb your guard, and you're going to Aqua Jet me, but I have a Tailwind up, so we are gaming. We should be able to get the KO here and then close it with Kyurem. Big damage. Should put him within range once they're Citrus. Nice. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. And then we're just going to come in with Kyurem and lock in like Freeze Dry or something. Sludge Bomb. Unexpected Sludge Bomb. Let's freaking go. Don't gotta miss Bleak Wind here. That's so sick. Sludge Bomb Torn is very, very cool to see. And we should be able to eat the Aqua Jet. Perfect. A bit of a weird game, but I think we had the right tools. And one thing that I'm thinking, I like the Fire Terra, but I don't think you need both these moves. You know, they're both hitting Steel, right? But like I think Earth Power is in a lot of situations better than Fusion Flare, in my opinion. Maybe we'll talk about that when it comes time to do a little bit of building. Let's see how this one goes. I guess we could still lose if they have like the exact right set. Protect? Yeah, it works for me. No big deal. He's just seeing what we lock into, I guess. Protect over Detect is definitely a choice. I think Detect is a little bit better because it's harder to imprison Detect than it is Protect. But you also get more PP for using Protect. So, yeah, let's see. How's this going to go down? That's the last turn of the Veil, right? That's good. It's good tech. I don't think Aqua Jet KOs us, though. I think you have to crit the Aqua Jet, which, like, you would have had to crit the Aqua Jet through a Aurora Veil anyways. So let's see how this one goes. And remember, I think the one thing that this Torn can be improved on is improving the defensive spread to be able to live through, like, a Mystic Water Surging Strikes. So if, like, let's say they crit our what is it? They crit our Kyurem and then outspeed our Torn and then KO us with, like, 3 Surging Strikes. Like, that'd be really sad. But we could stop that by fixing the Torn EV spread just a little bit. I wonder what they're thinking they have to do. Their Terra's already down. We should be able to just get it. I'm also a big fan of Rocky Helmet Torn, but I do like how you're playing... Oh, we live it. Cool, they didn't get the crit. I like how you're playing the Torn. I like the Rocky Helmet on the Ninetales that you have, so it's Sashed Ursh. I wouldn't even got the KO anyways. Cool, so we are going to take that win. Pretty good matchup for us, I think. Overall, I think the little tech mons like Garchomp and Gardevoir, as opposed to like them having something normal like, I don't know, an Ogerpon or like an Amoonguss, definitely made the matchup a little bit easier. But that being said, we were completely in control of the matchup the whole time, and yeah, I really think this team has a lot of things going well for it. It's just very slight optimizations we're going to get to in a little bit of team building. But let's play another game and see if we can fight something a little bit more aggressive, like a little bit more of Tailwind-centric. Maybe like a Miraidon. That'd be pretty cool if we could fight something like that. So let's go into another game. It's a little bit more aggressive. They have a Staraptor. How weird. Staraptor and Kyogre. So Staraptor's not that bad for us. I think that's fine. I think I can lead with Kyurem, though. Kyurem and Torn seem to be better than the Whims, so I'm going to lead like that. I like that better than the Ninetales. And then I still will bring Ninetales, obviously, like they have like 4 things that are weak against that. And then I just have to bring the right Mon in the back. You know, we didn't bring the Incin in the first one. I'm not really vibing with Incin here. I think you bring Rilla here. It gives a little bit of fake out support, Grassy Glide pin into the Ogre, forces Grass Terra, which means they take super effective damage from Blizzard. Like, I vibe with that. I don't think you need Ursh here, so we're going to be fine. And let's just go into this right here. Perfect. So yeah, the last game, I think we played really, really well. In this one, I think we're going to be a little bit more aggressive. And what I like to do against Whimsicott is, like, Whimsicott and Ogre is not really common. It's usually Torn Ogre, so they couldn't Rain Dance with that lead. So we were super safe leading just like this. I'm wondering if they're going to go, like, Sunny Day. I think what I'm going to do here is just... I think I'm going to Raw Snowscape, and I think I am going to Fire Terra here, just to, so I don't die to Hyper Voice or something weird, and just Blizzard. I don't see a problem with that. If you pivot in something, that's fine. If you want to taunt the Torn, that's fine. I just don't want to die here. And we're going to find out where their Sash is if it's on the Whims. But they're not going to be too happy about this. So big Blizzard with the manual snow coming out. I'm a big fan of Snowscape Torn 2, really, really cool set. And we have the Sludge Bomb here, which is like perfect. So it's like, it just shows that this team's like really well made already. That they have the right moves and the right techs for the right situation. I think we just got to clean up a couple of the EVs. I think that's like the big thing. So Tailwind's up. Note that we don't need to stagger that Tailwind yet. We should still be able to outspeed a Sylveon. So really, really good stuff here. Oh, we don't. He's very aggressive. If we can KO this Whims, though, that's great. Awesome. So it's Sash Whims. Awesome. I actually don't mind that at all. And so you're probably thinking like, oh, like don't get Encored and Tailwind. It's like, no, I won't. We're good. I can just do this. Do this again, and then we're going to massively stagger that Tailwind. So I wonder if they're going to go for the Encore here. That's what I would do. I would definitely Encore here. Endeavor. Oh, they're hitting me with that cheese tech. Wow, if I just Tailwinded, I won the game. Hey, it's fine. It's good tech. Nothing wrong with that at all. And now, like, I don't think you have room for the Encore on that set anymore. That being said, we are a little bit pinned. Just a wee tad bit pinned. We can come in and go for a fake out into the Whims and a Tailwind of our own and then come in with Ninetales, but then we are going to lose a lot of our value here. Damn, that's so unfortunate. I think it's fine, though. Stagger the Tailwind. Drop a fake out up. Damn, Endeavor Whims. Crazy, bro. And of course he's pivoting. What are you pivoting to? No way you're pivoting to Ogre, right? Spec. Awesome, Spec's a good mon here. Fake out's going to whiff. We're going to lose our Torn. And then I think that Ninetales still has a lot of value here. I wish we had Blizzard, but like I don't think we need it. Like, we do great damage into the rest of their team. We're going to be able to get the Rillaboom off the board, I feel. We're going to see who's faster right here. Rillaboom or Sylveon. Their Sylveon is faster. I think it's like full speed Sylveon. That's like so crazy. But Ninetales is going to be able to Icy Wind it. So that's going to be good. And I wonder what the Spectrier thinks that it's doing here. So we're going to Icy Wind to be able to break Sash and slow the Sylveon down. We don't even have Grassy Glide. Whoa. I think on the... Yeah, so that's another inconsistency. So you can see the Rillaboom has Grassy Glide on the paste. It doesn't on the rental. And the Ninetales has Moonblast on the rental. Moonblast on the paste and has Dazzling Gleam on the rental. So that's just a couple little things where, you know, it'd be nice to know those things moving forward. Because, like, right now, like, that's really bad for me. That's like really bad. I kind of need Grassy Glide. I would not have brought the Rilla. It's fine. Icy Wind's going to lower the Sylveon speed. We're going to be able to pin the Sylveon. Kyogre's going to have to Terra next turn, I think. Oh, now crit. Now let's see it. Make those reads. I can't believe they're just going to fodder the Kyogre, but they probably realized if they foddered the Ogre and put the Rilla within like range, because like, there's going to be a ton of recoil there. That's fine for me. I also don't dislike D-Gleam over Moonblast. It's just a matter of like knowing what you outspeed and what you don't. You know, now their speed tier is gone. They're going to be able to come in with their Whims, but like I think Icy Wind would hammer. If we can live that, that would be GG. They're going to Terra here, I think, though. They're at -1, so they already ate that. I think I don't want to miss. I'm gonna D-Gleam. I don't think they want to miss. Or I don't want to miss, sorry. If you go Grass Terra, you go Grass Terra. Nope. Awesome. Cool. So Tailwind's going to happen. Rilla should be outspeeding here. Deeply make sure we hit the whims, do a little bit of good damage to that Kyogre. Makes it so our Rilla's going to take a little bit less chip. And then... Hammer. Let's go. Bonk. Perfect. So if Rilla lives this, I think we win. But we'll see. Spectre might like protect or do something weird. Yeah, we obviously live that. Man, you know what would be really cool here? Grassy Glide. That's fine. I think Ninetales is still in a decent spot. We gotta stick one speed drop into this thing at least. So this is our last turn Tailwind, and they have 3. So if I go Icy Wind, Protect, I'm trying to look at like the ins and outs here. Icy Wind, Protect, Dazzle, Protect. Dazzle might be able to get it. That's our best shot. Because we need, that thing is 130 base speed, so we need to hit one Icy Wind on it at some point. This is our best play. They might not be faster than this Ninetales, but it's a great protect from them. 100% value protect from them. They're going to be going after my Rillaboom slot too with the Shadow Ball, and they're probably going to get a KO again. This is why I said, like, man, Grassy Guy would just be the GG right here. Because you would just go Grassy Guy, D-Gleam, D-Gleam, and you'd be able to win. Alright. We gotta stick the Icy Wind on it at some point. So it's Icy Wind up. Let's see what they got. Terra. Okay, I mean, you got Terra. You're probably double dipping though, right? I wouldn't be surprised. Is it like Fairy Terra? Ghost Terra. Yeah, so they're just gonna go Shadow Ball into the Rilla, and they're gonna get the Chilling Neigh boost. But at the same time, like, I wish we had Grassy Glide, man. I wish we had Grassy Glide. Never lucky. Don't die. Never lucky, man. I need Grassy Glide. Okay. They're probably thinking this is a big throw, but like, you know, I only brought Rillaboom to this matchup because I thought that it was on the paste. It's orbed. Alright, that's still really bad for me. It's a decent amount of chonk on that thing. So now we just protect. Sucks they get a tick of the grassy terrain, right? It's the last turn of it. If I can eat one Shadow Ball, which I don't think that we can, I might be able to win. I don't think I eat a Life Orb +1 Double Dip Ghost Terra Shadow Ball, right? I don't have any other options, though, so I'm just playing in my outs. But remember, guys, when you guys are submitting these teams, just try and make sure that the pace matches the rental. Because, like, you could say, well, that's it. You recorded the intro. You could have seen it on the rental. But, like, I look at the paste the whole time. I have my paste up the whole time. Like, it's supposed to have Grassy Glide. It's supposed to have Moonblast. Like, those would be 2 moves that would be really good in this situation. So, I mean, if we eat this, we're gaming, but I doubt that we eat this move. Yeah, we 2-shot him. Okay, like a special attack from a Moonblast. You see how, like, value that would have been there? That would have been so sick. But we should go down. Yeah. GG's. Again, you just got to submit the pastes the same way you have them on the rental. It's not that hard. We're going to go into another game and probably not bring the Rilla anymore since it doesn't have Grassy Glide. All right, Clef Shadow Rider. That's a good team to test against, I feel. So yeah, one thing about this team is that, like, we're pretty susceptible to Fake Out. Notably on, like, Kyurem, on, like, Ninetales I think has Protect, but, like, we're really susceptible to the Fake Out. And so I wonder what I should be doing here to mitigate that. Because we need to abuse... Now, let's see how this works. I'm going to go Ursh. I think Ursh is a good lead. I don't think Ursh Ninetales is bad. But I'm not seeing the inherent value that I get off of Ninetales in this matchup. Like, yeah, it's good against Bolt. It's okay. I can set Veil, but, like, it kind of just gets outvalued by Shadow Rider. I think I might be better off bringing a Torn and being able to Tailwind over. It's kind of hard to say. What if I just led like this? I don't really mind that at all, and I can U-turn. It would be nice to have Grassy Glide. But like, if I don't even have the option of Grassy Glide, like, I'm gonna have to make do with what I have. So those are good. I'm gonna bring the Ninetales. It's just a safer way to get the weather up, because I can pivot it in and just enable the Kyurem like immediately. I can pivot it in and get the boost immediately. So like, I don't have to have Torn be as active on the board. That being said, Dark Terror with the Torn might have been really good into the Shadow Rider. You're probably thinking like, whoa, you didn't bring in Sin. They're going up against Shadow Rider. Yeah, I think that's fine. The whole rest of that team is actually made to like really bully Incin, and what we need to do is keep pressure on the Shadow Rider on this team, because the Shadow Rider on Clef Shadow Rider teams are usually built with like nasty plot, but they're pretty bulky, or they're like not that strong, right? So if you never let them really get the nasty plot off, you're going to be in a good spot. There's the Clef Shadow Rider, so we can't stop this nasty plot, but we can just kill the Clef this turn. The way that we do that is by doubling into the Shadow Rider with Wood Hammer and Surging Strikes. They have to click the Follow Me, which means you lose the Clef. And yeah, they get the nasty plot, but then like we're Sash Ursh, we just run it into him again, and we should be fine. This is where if I kind of had Torn, I think I'd be winning, because I'd be able to go Surging Strikes, get my Sash clocked into like Tailwind, Surging Strikes, get the win. But you know, it's hard to say exactly. Torn's not that great into things like Bolt, so like I don't mind it. Ninetales might even be fine. Kyurem should be able to actually Kyurem doesn't outspeed. We're 137, so like Scarf. So like we outspeed like Flutters and stuff like that, but we don't outspeed Shadow Riders. So you need to get to 150. Helping Hand, you're just going deep, right? If you're Spexed, we're dead. Or like a Life Orb, I think the Rilla might die because Rilla needs a little bit of bulk that we're not using right here. And we win. GG's. Cool. They tried. So it's a different. They tried to trick us. They tried to think that like, oh, they're Orb. Yeah. So it's like they're trying to make it look like they were playing Clef Shadow Rider. I mean, they still technically played Clef Shadow Rider, but at the same time, like, nah, we're gonna be able to get the win here. You gotta click Follow Me there, homie. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you 2 single target mons in front of a Clef. Like, take the trade. And that's gonna be that. Cool. Shadow Rider goes down. Though it takes a little bit of recoil. And it's still alive. That's so good for me. I can just pivot and drop a Protect or something. The Clef's still on the board, but that's like all that team's damage. You're gonna have Bolt here. You have Raging Bolt as an option now. And I think what I'm going to do here is probably Detect with my Ursh. I might even just U-turn with the Rilla instead of hard swapping. Just kidding, that's weird. There's no reason to put my Mons in the garbage here. Absolutely none. I'm not afraid of that board. I'm not afraid of Scarf Ursh. The crits don't go through the Hail boost. So, like, you ain't doing any damage here. And we got Rocky Helmet Ninetales. So, like, we're in a great spot here. And then we have a Fake Out cycle for a little bit later on in the game. Like, Sing would be obnoxious here, but you don't usually see Sing and Helping Hand on the same set because they still need room for Protect Follow Me. But it's possible. Follow Me, nice. Cool. I just pivoted that turn. Let's see who they're going into. Aqua Jet, nice. See, I didn't do anything. And now they're probably thinking that they can go for close combat. But we do outspeed, so I'm just going to put the Veil up. Do I need to fire? No, I just Blizzard. I think we can actually eat that pretty well. I wonder if Blizzard... No, Blizzard plus Dazzling Gleam won't KO it. But Blizzard plus 2 Blizzards and a Dazzling Gleam will, I think. Especially after a close combat stat drop. Yeah, that's going to be fine. Even through the Friend Guard, we should be good. And we have chances to freeze here. I wonder if they're Scarfed Ursh, though. Alright, that's Scarfed Ursh. I thought Ursh is usually Scarfed on that team, and so they went into Aqua Jet. So that's super fine. Is this Bolt? Incin, cool. Works for me. Just free damage. Didn't lose anything for that. And this is just a... Oh, and a Protect. Cool. I mean, the Protect's a good play here. Again, that's now you're potentially losing the game to Encore. I think I've mentioned, like, every little time where, like, Encore would just finish the match. And you're starting to see you might want to start working in Encore in your own teams. It's great damage in Incin. And a freeze. So you have to Flare Blitz to thaw that, which means I don't care. Cool, and you know what's happening when you're Flare Blitzing? You're not Fake Outing, you're not Parting Shotting, you're not Knock Offing. We're kind of just sitting here having a good old-fashioned time. And we're going to D-Gleam here. Try and catch that Ursh if they want to pivot it in. Yeah, great damage against Clef. Awesome. So we've seen all their Mons. I wonder what kind of Incin that is. It might be Citrus, it might be Goggles. I could see Goggles Incin on that team. They're big thinking, though. They cannot switch in Ursh here. They have to Flare Blitz to Thaw. And, like, we have, like, 2 Ice types with Aurora Veil. Even Flare Blitz and a Ninetales wouldn't do that much damage. and they would take a Rocky Helmet tick and recoil. So we're in a good spot. He's trying to fake out. Yeah, that's fair. Get the fake out thaw, you know? I don't know about that one though, Chief. Can we freeze this Clef? White Bust, look at this damage. Oof, that's so much. And then this Dazzling Gleam will put the Clef within range. Even if they want to weave in a Protect, we have the damage here. So if they weave in a Protect, I think we still get the KO with Blizzard. So just Dazzle Gleam, do it again. Blizzard, do it again. They're going to Protect with Clef and try and Thaw within Sin, but it just doesn't get... Oh, battle's canceled, so wins up. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, yo. I do think this team is doing so many things right, but we do need to, like, clean up a few of these EV spreads. I think that's where the one thing the team kind of falters with is the EV spreads, in my opinion. So let's go take a look at that now. We're going to go into the team building section of this little video here, and that's going to look something like this. So here we go. Let's take a look at some of these. So let's start off with the mon that I think needs the most help, which is this Rillaboom. I think that it's not like a bad spread. I would personally make this Rillaboom 0 speed reduced. I personally would make it 0 speed reduced, and that's two reasons. It's making it so you can actually lead it versus Entity, and if you want a speed tie, because they're both 85 base speed, you could actually fake out in turn 1. So if they lead like Entity Cali Eye, you could fake out that Cali Eye turn 1, and that would just basically let you set the Veil and do like anything you wanted to for free. Like, oh my gosh, that'd be so great. That being said, we don't really have that many good ways to capitalize on it. You're better off just like, I think in the one game we played against Trick Room, we just led with Veil anyways. So I don't think you need to be speed reduced, but that being said, you at least need to get to 112 base speed here. So that's going to look something like this. So Rillaboom, it likes having a lot of attack, but like honestly, you don't need like a crazy high amount. I think you got to get up to 112 here, which is actually capitalizing off your base, you're capitalizing off your Icy Wind calcs, and I usually go 60 just to make sure you're outspeeding like Landos and stuff like that. And then from there, like this set is fine, but you can even take it one step further and go with a 244, cut up into 2 sets of 4 there, because 1 point in each of these respective defenses is worth more than 1 point in HP. You made the right choice in going HP first, in my opinion. But you can just mix it up just a little bit. And then I think the set that you submitted is good. I don't think you need U-turn. If you wanted to add knockoff over high horsepower to increase your Shadow Rider matchup, you could as well. It would work against the Clefs that have the Eviolite and stuff like that. I like this set. This is what I would use if I was using Rillaboom. Fire Terror is still a good choice, so good stuff. Ninetales. I think you did a lot of stuff right in this Ninetales. 170 is actually the right speed tier to get to outspeed those like... I think it outspeeds like Lando Eye and stuff like that. If you wanted to get to 173, you could be outspeeding base 105s like Palmot and Hisui Lilligant. Those are options, so just keep that in the back of your head. You had Icy Wind and Moonblast. On the rental code, you had Dazzling Gleam, and Moonblast is the right play because it makes it so you don't just automatically lose the game to Wide Guard. So you actually had the right moveset the first time. The only thing I would recommend maybe doing here is thinking about substituting one of these, maybe the Protect for Encore, because I think that Encore would actually give you a lot of value on this team. I think I mentioned almost every single time you would have just won the game. That people just disrespect Encore, and yeah, the fact that like you're not a prank boosted Encore, but you're a fast mon is really good, so they can't go like Dark Terror to stop it. So I really do like Ninetales with Encore, so maybe cut the Protect if it's something you don't think you need, but yeah, I think you have a good one. I think the Water Terror is great there. Rocky Helmet, I like this set. I like my Rocky Helmets more on my Torns. You might want to put your Covert Cloak here and a Rocky Helmet on the Torn, that's another option as well, but I think your Ninetales is doing stuff right. I wouldn't really change anything, just make sure that it matches the paste. And then with this one, I was talking a little bit about like whenever I have Insins that have like 2 attacks, I actually want to make use of those 2 attacks. So let's run some calcs here. So let's plug like Incineroar here, and just do like a blink set, and let's plug in like a Rillaboom. So like a standard Rillaboom, like Double Soyu Assault Vest, like they're basically the same set that you submitted over here. I'm going to make my camera a lot smaller, put it right here. See, it's basically the same set. So like when you just put like Flare Blitz on this thing, it doesn't do like enough, you know? And so like what I like to do is make sure that I can actually just deal with the Rillaboom off the rip. By making yourself adamant and putting your points into your stat that's the highest, you're going to get a lot of value. And then I think it's right around, like, I usually go about 100 because like going all the way up there is a lot. And so like, instead of getting that 100% KO with the Flare Blitz off the 100, 164, I usually like to just go the 100 and deal with the fact that I have like almost 70% chance to get the KO Oko against like a standard Rilla with the Flare Blitz. So that's just the set that I like to go. It's also going to improve your damage with knockoff. So like we got knockoff over here. Let's run knockoff into something like, let's see, what are some popular mons you want to knock off? Everyone's like Shadow Rider, Shadow Rider. So let's go Shadow Rider. So let's go Shadow Rider. And let's just go like spec Shadow Rider. So it's like obviously Shadow Rider's like super dunzo. And even if they double dipped Ghost, you know, you might even want to go something like that to make sure you get it. So maybe 108 to always Oko those things. And it's going to increase your damage on your Flare Blitz as well. So that's how I like to run in Sin, especially these goggles and Sins that don't need to do that much else. I like to make them a little bit more aggressive. And then at the same time, I think you need a little bit of points in speed. I usually like to, and this is just how I like to play in Sin. I know that you're probably used to using in Sin as like, I bet you probably lead like in Sin Ninetales a lot, right? You're probably leading in Sin Ninetales a lot. And then from there you go like, you bluff the fake out, you click fake out Veil, and then you like parting, which is still fine. But like, I personally like to use my Sin as like a, hey, I'm leading with this, I'm fake outing this, and then I'm bullying the other slot to make it so they can't like pivot in the threat, right? That's kind of how I'm looking at how I like to play in Sin. So like, for example, if I would like to lead in Sin Rilla and my opponent leads like Ursh, Kali I, yes, I have double bluff of like fake out, but like I can go turn one, like fake out Ursh, they're gonna protect with the Kali I. You can go fake out Ursh with the Sin, Woodhammer KO the KO the Ursh. Turn two, Woodhammer Flare Blitz the Kali I or knockoff and just get the KO that way. And so like that's a lead that would normally give people a lot of problems. And so if you actually use these more aggressive versions of like Rillaboom and Sin, you're gonna be able to get those valuable turns. I usually like to make this guy have 85 base speed to actually win those fake out speed ties, but at the same time, you're going to be able to outspeed things in a Tailwind. You're going to be able to outspeed Lando I in a Tailwind, which is actually really, really nice. And then from there, the way that I like to play this Mon is he has a lot of defense tech already with the Intimidate built in, so you already have like a decent matchup against like Pow, and you know you're gonna get bopped by like Koraidon and other things anyway. So like what I do is I throw I usually throw all these points basically into Spadef, so it's just a better pivot for Astral, right? That's kind of how I like to look at it. Throw the last 4 in defense because they're extra, but this is how I like to play in Sin, and I think it's gonna work really, really good on this team if you use it with that mindset. As for the Ursh, I think I talked about this. I still like to go Jolly Ursh. Just so you can actually outspeed Fluttermane if you are playing against like Fluttermane Terapagos. So that's going to look something like, so we plug in the Urshifu Sash over here. Where is it? So we have Urshi Rapid Strike over there versus like Fluttermane. So on these Fluttermane sets, right, that are really, really aggressive, that they like to pair with Terapagos, they get like a booster speed, and then they get like +1. And so you got to outspeed this number right here when you're playing with, when you're playing against like Flutter. And so what they lead like Flutter Tropicos, what they want to do is Icy when you're Ursh, so they can just Terra Starstorm and Oko your Ursh. And you don't want that to happen. So what you need to do is you're going to have a Tailwind. So when you lead like Torn Ursh into that, you need to be able to still outspeed the Fluttermane. So like going 2v2, you see we don't get it there. And if we go Jolly, we do get it there. So we overco it by a lot, but at the same time, this also keeps us out of range of timid Terapagos, which is a thing. Yes, you do a little bit less damage, but since you have a Sash, you get the luxury of hitting them twice, which is really, really nice. So for example, if you go like Torn Ursh, you can go turn 1, go Detect, Tailwind, take the damage with your Torn, and then turn 2, like, you know, actually you can realistically just go like turn 1, Detect, Sludge Bomb to break their Terra Shell if they did Terra Shell. But if they go Terra like they do on the Terapagos, you're just gonna pop them with close combat or get them so low that any of your mounts finish them off. So you're fine. But I would say I really am a fan of Timid here, especially on these Sash Urshes. And I actually really still like the Stellar Terra because I think you still KO a lot of Terapagoses. So let's plug in Terapagos here. Terapagos Stellar. Let's just plug in like a Choice Spec set and go close combat. So like, you don't Oko, but if you click the Stellar, you do. Yeah, so they'd have to have some points in bulk. So like the standard like Specs Terapagos sets, you still KO with Jolly. So like, that's cool. I like Water more, but I think that you could still get a lot of value off the Stellar. As for the Torn, let's run a few calcs. Urshi versus Torn. So Tornadus. I'm a big fan of having my Tornaduses be slow. I think you did a really good job doing that. But let's check out what like Surging Strikes does to our Torn. So that's going to Oko straight up. That's just an Oko. And what happens if they're like Mystic Water, right? That's an Oko, right? So like we want to make sure that we don't die to this 122 area. So you could say, well, I'm just going to put in full right there. And then I'm going to do like that, right? And then like, I'm going to live. And then you think all you need is that. But like realistically, what if they were like Water Terra as well? Because that would be really bad. So let's see what happens when you click that. So we need to live to this now. And so I think the number that I like to do, you know, just stop beating around the bush, is stuff like this. It's 204 with Bold Nature. That basically lets you live like Water Terra, Jolly, like Mystic Water, like all the multipliers. And it's gonna bleed into also still improving your matchup for Shempao versus Koraidon versus you know, what is that other Mon? Zenta and stuff like that. The last thing I actually want to check, see if we put those points in here, that's a lot more points than you were already using. So if we have like that with, I think, 204 plus, we need to make sure that you still have enough damage to Oko the Wims, because I'm sure that Sludge Bomb is for Wims, and I think it's actually a really cool tech. So let's plug in a Wims on this side. I still don't think there's a problem with putting Bleak Wind there. It's just a good move, but like, let's see how much we actually need, because it's 4 times. That's a lot of damage. So you're probably trying to KO like Wims here, and like you don't need any points to do that. You know, like if you're trying to out KO like Wims there, that's completely fine. I think as well, I like having just the 4 right there, but realistically, I think you could just throw like a 44-4 and like sit on that. And I like this a lot. You could put some speed in your Torn, but I don't think you really need it. So the Sludge Bomb here, yes, it's doing less damage now. And you're probably thinking like, oh, well, that Sludge Bomb was there to like 2-shot Iron Valiant or something. Like, you don't need that. The Sludge Bomb should be for Wims. Other than that, this thing's main job is to sit on the board as long as possible to Snowscape and Tailwind. So it's a good Mon. I think this is a fine set for it. Kyurem-White's a little bit weird. The set that you have right here does not outspeed Shadow Rider. You need to get to 150. So like, we need to make this at least 150, and I would recommend 151, because that would outspeed Urshifus that are only getting to 149. So like, people get to 150, and then that would outspeed Shadow Rider going to 225 versus Shadow Rider's 224. And then you go to 151 because people are also getting to 150 and other things. So you'd be outspeeding other Kyurems by getting to 151. So that being said, I don't think you need this much special attack. I know it's going to seem so criminal, but you do need to go so bad. It's so sad. You do need to go full timid, right? So 151 right here. And then from there, you can kind of max this out. What I would do with Kyurem, right? It has a bloated HP stat, so you made the right choice in just putting the 4 there. I think with Kyurem, you'd probably be better off like just maxing that right here, and then probably going like the mixture of, I usually like to put about 52 and 20. I think that's fine. It's not like amazing, but at the same time, like, you're a little bit weaker, but now you're actually fast enough to do what a Scarf Kyurem needs to do. And another thing that I would recommend here is I think Poison Terra is a little bit better than Fire. 2 reasons. Reason number 1, you have a weakness to fighting, and now if you go Poison Terra, you don't. Right? That's kind of nice. So you still the whole point of the Fire Terra is resist the Fairy. You could say, oh, it resists ice, but it's like, you could just, like, what ice types attack? Like Glacial Lance, you know, the thing that like, you have if you have the hail up, you get the boost, then you just Veil, and it only does like 30-ish% tops. Right? You're fine against that. I think if Blizzard and Freeze Dry are great, but I think the value of making yourself poison, it means you don't need both these moves. You need to be able to hit steel types, right? So I think Earth Power just does that. You know, Earth Power can hit Zenta, Earth Power can hit any sort of steel Terrid Mons, right? It can hit Heatran versus Fusion Flares. Well, Fusion Flare would work too because we got Turbo Blaze, right? But I don't think you need Fusion Flare. Like, this is going to be hitting Incin. This is basically just for Incin. Everyone knows this. But it also still hits those steel Terrid Mons for fine damage. I think you can take this Fusion Flare and make this into a Draco or a Dragon Pulse. And you may be thinking, why do I need Dragon Pulse? You know, I can just hit other dragons with ice attacks. And the reason you need Dragon Pulse or a Dragon Stab is because this is what you use against like things for neutral damage. Because like so for example, like I like Dragon Pulse as there's like if you're bringing your Kyurem out in the mid game, I like Dragon Pulse just as a closer, saying like, hey, this is a strong move. It's going to be accurate. It can always just hit, and it doesn't matter if you have like a weird defensive typing that would stop one of these mons over here, or one of these moves. Like, I'm just going to be able to come in and just Dragon Pulse and just close out the game. You could say like, oh, but what if like another thing, Dragon Pulse is really, really good into like Koraidon. Because if you just throw the Dragon Pulse into it, because like, what if you Blizzard it or Freeze Dried into a Koraidon, they can go Fire Terra. And if you Earth Power trying to read the Fire Terra and they didn't Fire Terra, you're not doing anything. But like Dragon Pulse is just like, hey, I'm two-shotting you. You know, that's the tech. And we have the Poison Terra now to be able to live that. So like, I would try this. I think like in one of the games, we got the value of double dip in the Fusion Flare. And if you really like that, there's nothing wrong with keeping that set. But I like this a little bit more. And yeah, obviously you don't hit fairies, so don't lock into this move. They still have fairies, but at the same time, like this is going to be really good damage. Like for example, when you're trying to close out a game and they have something like an Incin, a Rilla, and an Ursh, what would you lock in? You have no lock in there, like an Urshy Water, right? You can't lock in Blizzard or Freeze Dry to hit the Rilla, because then you can't. Well, I guess you could, but then you can hit the Ursh, but then you can't hit the Incin, and you can go Earth Power to hit the Incin, but then you can't hit the Rilla, and then you see how it works. Dragon Pulse hits all three of those for neutral, so you can just come and go pop, pop, pop. You know, easy peasy. So those are the changes that I would make. This team was very, very well made from the start, and all we did is just refine some of the EVs, make sure the movesets were what were submitted. That's why I was so blown away by how perfect the paste was before those two mistakes that we found. But what we're gonna do now is just go play a couple games on Showdown and try and see if we can talk our way through how the team works with these changes. So let's go hop right into that. Miraidon and Grim with Flutter. Okay. Let's try and think of what we want to do here. I don't really like fighting against Ogerpon that much, so I'm going to be actually trying to leverage advantage versus Ogerpon. Probably with Torn Ursh. I think this is a good lead against their team. The fact that like we have speed control and they don't have great speed controls, probably good for us. I like Kyurem. Ninetales is very usable here, though. What if I just let Ninetales Rilla? I don't really think there's an issue with that. Stagger the tail with the Torn, bring it to Kyurem, win the game. I think we're going to have a problem with the Ogerpon, but I don't think it's the end of the world. So we have... You can reflect, you can do a bunch of different stuff. I think I'm just going to trade screens with you, but at the same time, I can just get this Grim like off the board, and it doesn't really cost me anything. You can screen. I could go fake out and do stuff, but like you can't stop both of these, so you're dead. And you can come in with Miraidon, but I can just protect and pivot. Don't think it's the end of the world for me. Yeah, if I protect and pivot in Torn, even if you nuke the Torn on the rip, like I just send the Rill back out and gain the speed control back. Ogerpon. Ogerpon's correct. Okay. So protect Ninetales, try and get a Tailwind up. Icy Wind won't trap our speed. I don't think we die to the Cudgel. And the Cudgel the Ninetales. Cool. So we get the Veil up, get a Tailwind up, and the last one they should have is Miraidon, which means I think we're in a fine spot here. They're doubling that. Ooh, they didn't take out the Torn. Cool. That's... Wow, we get extra turns? Wow, okay. Yeah, Icy Wind's great there. You might as well just protect. In all my honesty, I think you can just protect here. I'm not doing anything. There's no reason to just give them the Torn, I don't think. Just get some free damage into stuff. You have to double into that, and then I just bring in Miraidon. And like, I want to be able to Yeah, you see, like, why would I give them that? Alright, so we need to pivot one of these Mons, I think. Snow has one more turn on it. Cool, I like that. Free damage. Easy peasy. Icy Wind. The fact that stays alive is sick. Yeah, we're not taking too much damage there. And now, since we still have the Tailwind up, we can just click the Fat Blizzard and just re-Snowscape over it and get ready to re-Tailwind again. I vibe with that. There it is. Oof. Ogerpon down for the count. You can Moonblast me. Oh, I'm alive because we changed our EVs, boys. Perfect. There's the Miraidon. So you just re-Tailwind and just Blizzard again. Sick. That went exactly like how I wanted it to. Great protect from them, but I think we have the right Mons in the back to be able to deal with this. I want to see if they like Discharge. Discharge would be obnoxious. Dazzle Gleam's fine. Alright, so Icy Wind. I think I'm going to Moonblast your Miraidon. And I think I'm going to... I wonder how fast we actually really are here. I think I can get away with Wood Hammering your Flutter. Yep. Oh, wow, he lived. The boy who lived. Yeah, you need to do that because they still had the Reflect up. That's why I think that was a fine play. Electro Drift ain't going to do it. Cool. GG's. Perfect. It was a perfect game. I wouldn't say Miraidon's like an easy matchup either, but like I think we brought the right stuff for the right situation, so pretty good stuff. Yeah, that went great. So just like keeping up those Tailwind Mons, keeping up the little bit of speed control, like that was super important for that matchup. Let's go to another one. Eternatus. A lot of dragon types here, so a lot of blizzard targets. You don't want to ever lead your Kyurem in these situations because like the fake out pins just get you so bad. So that's why I really like the Ninetales being able to protect, even the Veils. Ninetales is a good lead. I think Ursh is good at forcing some Terras maybe a little bit early. We want to stagger that Tailwind and close with Kyurem. I don't think Incin's required here. So they're gonna want to go fake out Tailwind. This is another situation where if you wanted to be the Encore user, you could just win the game. They low-key have to fake out here. I'm going to Veil and I'm going to Detect. I don't want to lose my Sash yet. Yep, honestly, that's such a good play for me. Tailwind Stagger is great. So Veil trade for Tailwind is such a good deal. And now we just go Icy Wind, Pivot, and Torn. I want to see if they're cloaked. It's going to let us do that. We don't need to... Right now, we're putting all the right pressure in this board. Like, if you're going to Terra your Incin, like, this is going to do it. We don't have to ever act upon that this early in the game. And if they would like to, I don't know, like, Psychic us or do a weird Psychic attack, we got the Veil up. Like, Light Screen's fine. All right, do you have Light Clay or are you cloaked? All right, cool. They're probably Light Clay. U-turn's fine. Rocky Helmet Tick. You see how we didn't need to pull the trigger there? We weren't required to. Here's the Eternatus. And we could stagger our own Tailwind. I'm going to probably protect here and go for... I'm going to... This is going to look so weird. This is a free turn for us. I'm going to Sludge Bomb your Latias because you're honestly going to go there. And even if you do go there, I'm going to live. Sludge Wave. Cool. That works for me. We're game. What we're actually trying to do here is elongate the Tailwind stagger as long as humanly possible. It's the whole point of this. So now we're going to Tailwind. And we're probably going to lose this Ninetales here. We can even just like, this is the last turn of their Tailwind. I can just protect. Give me an extra turn there too. I can just protect here. Honestly, that's fine. Are you gonna Sludge Wave again, bro? Oh my gosh, he did. What a Chad. That is some cool stuff. Cool. This is the last turn of Snow. I wonder if they're choiced. Definitely drop the Detect. Here's the Tailwind. If they know to hard pivot out there and Sin, that's a good play. Hard pivot out and Sin for Latias is sick. Be a great looking play for them, but they did not. So you can Sludge Wave again. Yep, easy peasy. Poisons? Oh, it's fine. So the Snow's gone. And they haven't Terra'd yet. So this is a weird board state for me. I'm going to definitely Terra here. Just trying to think of what I want to do. I think I'm going to Surging Strikes here. I'm going to ignore this Mon. This is probably fine. This is probably fine. This is probably the best play since they still have so many ice types. I think, you know what? I'm a gamer. I was born a gamer. Let's go. Poison double dip. Missed on Incin. All right, we got the freeze. Yo, we're gaming. Cool. I mean, I like Blizzard. I don't care that it's like, I don't care. Turn one thought. That's that value that tracks. Don't poison my Ursh. Cool. Roaring Moon here. I still think we outvalue a lot of these, so I think you can actually just CC. And he gets a speed boost, but we're damaged. We got that. Look at that. Oof. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Oh, and another freeze. Yo, we don't even need it. We don't even need it, but we got it. Dude, this mon is so sick. Poor Eternatus sitting in a tree. Oh my gosh. Value. With the Blizzard, but we Surging Strikes in here. And we take those wins. Hey, that's another cool game. So, yeah, I think this team is doing, like, a lot of things right. I'm gonna play one more game, because, like, this team is, like, actually really, really fun to play. Thank you so much for submitting it, and if anyone else has, wants help with the rest of their teams, please think about letting me know on Patreon. This will be the last game here. Hisui Zoroark. So against this board, I actually don't mind leading Kyurem because they do not have Fake Out, right? So we can just bully people with Kyurem here. The good news is, like, we actually outspeed a lot of these. I think I'm going to lead Kyurem Ninetales and just, like, rip it. And if you happen to just break my Kyurem on the first turn, which is definitely possible, I think Rillaboom is a good way to get back in the game here. It's great versus a lot of those Mons. I like the Ursh into Crown. I like Ursh into Crown. So we're going to bring the Ursh here. But if they get a Tailwind up, I need to stagger. I need to bring Ursh, otherwise I literally can't even hit that thing, right? I don't want to be that guy, but like I literally can't hit it. So let's see. They can go like Miraidon, Drifblim, and I can't do that much about it. I'm hoping that they. What if it's like Electric Seeds Zoroark disguised as Drifblim, and it's like Sash Drifblim in the back? That would be really cool. Wow, that would be so unique. All right, so I want to see if they have Booster. Okay, so Freeze Dry probably OHKOs the Ogerpon. Honestly, it probably does. We're going to try this. It does not KO after the Spit F boost and then lose the weakness to it, unless I crit. Okay, absolutely acceptable. Ooh, Cudgel's not doing a ton. We are faster than the Crown, and they taunt. Wow. They tried to taunt a Ninetales? Dude, don't taunt Ninetales. That doesn't even do anything. Trying to think of what we're going to catch. Oh, it's fucking Zoroark. I'm an idiot. It's fine. Yeah, this is a good play then. Here's a Miraidon on the swap here. Too much damage into Miraidon. Yeah, that's not going to be a good play. Oh, and a freeze. Dude, we're freezing everybody out here. Dude, and the Rage Quit. Oh, I'm gaming. I was like, I didn't even know Iron Clown, you know, he had Sludge Bomb. He could have done that first turn. The fact that we outsped them is really weird. They're modest. So we take those wins. Again, I really, really like this team, and it's a lot of fun. But if there's a team you guys want some help with, think about checking out the Patreon. All my rentals go here. I upload 3 to 4 times a week. I post my USPA replays and a bunch of other stuff like that. There's a bunch of Patreon exclusive content on there, and even the lowest tier gets access to a lot of this stuff. So think about checking that out if you want help, and you know, drop a like on this video as well. Drop a like on this video. We've been uploading a bunch of cool content on YouTube as well. This is my main channel, and yeah, I just want to say I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for the opportunity to fix this team, and hopefully the creator likes the changes that we made. So thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. I'll see you guys next time.